We've spent centuries striving for comfort, building a world designed to make our lives easier. But what if the pursuit of comfort is exactly what's holding us back from living fully? Today, we have more convenience than ever before. We don't have to walk anywhere. We don't have to struggle for food. We don't even have to sit with our thoughts in silence. It's easy, it's comfortable. But is it truly fulfilling? In The Comfort Crisis, Michael Easter argues that the very comforts we've come to rely on are quietly eroding our sense of purpose, mental strength, and overall well-being. What if the secret to a more meaningful life isn't in finding more comfort, but in seeking out discomfort? This isn't just another self-help book. It's a bold challenge to embrace discomfort in a world that's increasingly designed to avoid it. Easter takes us on a journey of self-discovery, showing us how stepping into the unknown and facing struggle can actually help us reconnect with our deepest strengths. Welcome to Book Play, where we turn powerful books into powerful life changes. Today, we follow David, an overworked professional who thought he had it all together. But when his routine leaves him feeling drained, disconnected, and stuck, he turns to the comfort crisis for answers. Join us as we explore how stepping out of comfort and into the unknown can spark profound transformation. David was 38. On paper, his life seemed perfect. He had a stable job as a marketing executive, a nice apartment in the city, a regular gym routine, everything most people would envy. But in reality, David felt increasingly disconnected from everything around him. Each morning, he would wake up to the same routine, reach for his phone, scroll through endless notifications, and jump straight into work. His days were filled with back-to-back meetings, emails, and Zoom calls. His body ached, not from exercise, but from sitting still for hours. His energy had drained, and his motivation was fading fast. He didn't feel like he was in a crisis, but there was a nagging emptiness he couldn't ignore. He wasn't depressed, not exactly, but something wasn't right. There was no sense of excitement or fulfillment in his life anymore. The spark he once had was gone. David had become stuck in a cycle: work, eat, scroll, sleep, repeat. The days blurred together, and his life felt like a series of passive routines. He wasn't sure when things started to feel this way, but he knew it wasn't the life he wanted to be living. He missed the feeling of being truly challenged, the sense of pushing himself, taking risks, and growing. He remembered a time when he was curious and motivated, but now even the simplest tasks felt like a grind. It wasn't that life was bad, it was just dull. David had tried to change things on his own. He downloaded meditation apps, subscribed to productivity blogs, and even bought a gratitude journal once. But each effort felt temporary. They didn't spark the deeper change he needed. One evening, after another long day at work, David was scrolling through podcasts when he came across an episode with Michael Easter, author of The Comfort Crisis. The title alone grabbed his attention. Modern comfort is killing us. He clicked on the episode, intrigued by the idea that comfort, the thing most of us chase, might actually be holding him back. When Easter spoke, his words hit David with unexpected force. Growth lives outside your comfort zone, and comfort is quietly killing us. In that moment, David felt something shift. It was like a light bulb had gone off. Could it be true? Could the reason he felt stuck be because he had been too comfortable for too long? That night, David ordered The Comfort Crisis. When the book arrived a few days later, he wasn't sure what to expect, but as he held it in his hands, a small spark of hope flickered inside him. Maybe this book could offer the challenge he was searching for. Maybe it could be the wake-up call he needed. And so, David began reading. He wasn't sure if it would change his life, but he was ready to find out. He was cautiously optimistic, ready to step outside his comfort zone and into something deeper. The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter is a compelling exploration of how modern life, with all its conveniences, is quietly diminishing our physical, mental, and emotional resilience. In a world where comfort has become the ultimate goal, Easter argues that this very comfort is what's holding us back from reaching our full potential. Easter's journey into this idea didn't come from an academic perspective. It came from first-hand experience. After years of living a comfortable life, Easter embarked on a grueling adventure to the remote mountains of Mongolia. This journey wasn't just for leisure, it was designed to push him to the brink, to put him in situations of extreme discomfort. He spent weeks trekking across rugged terrain, carrying heavy packs, enduring harsh conditions, and constantly testing his physical and mental limits. It was there, in the discomfort, that Easter realized the true cost of the comfort-driven lifestyle he had been living. His experience in Mongolia served as a catalyst for the comfort crisis, where he blends his personal story with insights from science, psychology, and anthropology to make a powerful case for why embracing discomfort is crucial for growth. He explains that throughout history, humans have been wired for challenge, for struggle, for overcoming adversity. Yet in today's world, we've slowly eliminated those challenges. From technology that makes life easier to a society that prioritizes ease over effort. The book doesn't just criticize the modern world, it offers solutions. Easter doesn't call for a return to hardship for the sake of it. Instead, he advocates for a balanced approach, one where we intentionally seek discomfort to reignite the fire of purpose, resilience, and clarity in our lives. This isn't about rejecting comfort. It's about understanding when comfort has become a barrier to our growth and success. In the comfort crisis, Easter challenges us to confront the areas in our lives where we've become too comfortable and to willingly step into discomfort, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental. The lessons he shares are not just theoretical. They're grounded in his own transformative experiences and backed by research. His message is clear. Growth happens when we push beyond our limits, when we leave the safety of comfort behind, and when we dare to face the discomfort that leads to true strength and fulfillment. For David, the book is a revelation. He begins to see that the very things he's been avoiding, the discomfort, the struggle, the challenges, are precisely what he needs to rediscover his purpose and passion. And as he continues reading, David realizes that embracing discomfort is not just about enduring hardship. It's about choosing a life with more depth, more clarity, and more meaning. Lesson number 1. Embrace discomfort to unlock growth. In a world where convenience and comfort have become the cornerstones of modern life, we've unknowingly created an environment that stifles growth. From the soft cushions of our couches to the luxury of online shopping, we've been trained to seek comfort at all costs. Yet, as Michael Easter argues in The Comfort Crisis, comfort is the enemy of growth. True progress doesn't come from staying within the confines of what is easy and familiar. It emerges when we push ourselves into the unknown, when we step outside our comfort zones and embrace discomfort as a tool for transformation. Easter's message is clear. Growth doesn't happen in the safety of comfort. It happens in the discomfort that challenges our limits. So why do we avoid discomfort? And how can we use it to our advantage to unlock the next level of who we are? David had what many would call a comfortable life. He had a stable job as a marketing manager, a predictable routine, and weekends filled with the familiar pleasures of downtime. On the surface, everything seemed fine. But beneath that smooth surface, David felt something was missing. He felt restless, unfulfilled, and increasingly aware that he wasn't growing. His daily routine was comfortable, yes, but it didn't require him to stretch, struggle, or challenge himself in any meaningful way. Work had become a repetitive cycle, his fitness routine was unremarkable, and his social life lacked depth. He was simply going through the motions. Despite the outward appearance of stability, David realized he had been avoiding discomfort for years. He never sought out challenges, he avoided them. He kept to the familiar because it felt safe. But as Easter points out in the comfort crisis, safety can become a trap. By choosing comfort, we avoid the very challenges that force us to grow. That realization was a wake-up call for David. The comfort he thought was keeping him safe was actually the very thing that was holding him back from discovering his true potential. It was then that David picked up the comfort crisis, reading about Easter's extreme experience, trekking across Mongolia in grueling conditions to learn what true endurance meant, ignited something inside him. Easter didn't avoid discomfort, he sought it, and through the struggle he found deeper meaning and purpose. At first, the idea of deliberately seeking discomfort felt strange to David. It seemed counterproductive. But he remembered Easter's story, how embracing discomfort had shaped his resilience, focus, and mental toughness. David realized that if he wanted to live a life of meaning and growth, he needed to take on discomfort in every area of his life. David started small. He signed up for a workout class that intimidated him, one that challenged him beyond his usual fitness routine. He made an effort to engage in difficult conversations at work, taking on projects that pushed him out of his comfort zone and forced him to stretch his abilities. He even began taking the longer route home after work, making a conscious decision to choose the more physically demanding path. At first, these choices felt like small disruptions, but over time, David noticed a shift. He began to feel more alive. The discomfort of physical exertion made him stronger, but more importantly, it gave him a sense of accomplishment. Each time he chose discomfort, he grew more resilient. David's physical strength improved, but more importantly, he felt mentally and emotionally stronger too. It wasn't just the physical burn of exercise that taught him resilience. It was the act of pushing past his own resistance that built his mental toughness. The more David embraced discomfort, the more confident he became in tackling the difficult, unpredictable challenges of life. His work became more meaningful because he was no longer avoiding challenges. He was seeking them, knowing that discomfort was the gateway to growth. The key takeaway from this lesson is simple. Seek discomfort. It's not about putting yourself through unnecessary pain, but about challenging yourself in ways that help you grow. Start small. Choose one area of your life where you've been avoiding discomfort and lean into it. Maybe it's tackling a difficult conversation you've been putting off, pushing yourself in your physical fitness, or taking on a project at work that feels intimidating. The next time you face a situation that feels uncomfortable, don't avoid it. Embrace it. The discomfort you face today is the strength you'll rely on tomorrow. Growth only happens when you choose discomfort over ease. The more you challenge yourself, whether physically, emotionally, or mentally, the more you unlock your true potential. By deliberately seeking discomfort, you build the resilience, strength, and courage necessary to face the challenges that life throws your way. Remember, the discomfort you avoid is the very thing that could lead you to the growth you've been searching for. Lesson number 2. Build resilience through repetition and consistency. We live in a culture of instant gratification. Whether it's fast food, streaming services, or social media likes, we've been conditioned to expect quick results and immediate rewards. But true resilience doesn't come from quick fixes. It's built through consistent effort, repeated over time, and compounded through small actions. Michael Easter's The Comfort Crisis challenges this immediate reward mindset by showing us how small, repeated actions over time are the secret to enduring strength, not just physically but mentally and emotionally. This lesson is a reminder that success isn't about one big breakthrough. It's about showing up day after day and doing the work, even when it feels hard, even when it doesn't seem to make a difference at first. When David first started his journey of embracing discomfort, he expected to see quick results. He thought that if he pushed himself physically, he'd see a noticeable change in just a few weeks. But after his initial enthusiasm wore off, he found himself frustrated. His progress was slow. He'd go for a run or attend a workout class, but the changes didn't come as fast as he expected. He would sometimes feel sore, discouraged, or like he wasn't making enough progress. One morning, feeling defeated, David almost skipped his workout altogether. "What's the point?" he thought. "I've been doing this for weeks, and I still don't see major results." But then, a thought struck him. Resilience is built not in grand, sweeping moments of change, but in the everyday, seemingly insignificant decisions to show up. He remembered Easter's journey through Mongolia. There were no shortcuts to the grueling expedition. It was hours upon hours of repetition, walking, carrying weight, pushing through harsh conditions. Easter didn't succeed because of one lucky break. He succeeded because he kept going, even when it felt hard. David realized this was his key takeaway. Resilience isn't about explosive moments of change. It's about showing up, doing the work, and trusting that the small actions will add up to something greater. From that moment, David shifted his perspective. He started to focus less on the immediate results and more on building consistency. He committed to showing up every day, even when he didn't feel like it. Whether it was going for a run, doing a morning meditation, or tackling a challenging project at work, David decided that the act of showing up was more important than the immediate outcome. It wasn't easy. There were days when he was tired, frustrated, or uninspired, but he kept at it. Every single time he showed up, he was building resilience. Even on days when the progress felt small, it was compounding. David began to trust the process and understand that resilience is the result of repeated actions, not sporadic bursts of effort. This mindset shift allowed David to persevere. He didn't expect overnight transformations anymore. He saw value in every small step, every action, even when it seemed insignificant in the moment. The consistency of his efforts over time made him mentally and physically stronger. David started to notice a shift. After a few months, he wasn't just stronger physically. He felt a deeper sense of emotional and mental toughness. He could handle stress better at work, manage difficult conversations with more confidence, and stay calm in situations that would have overwhelmed him before. The compound effect of consistency was making him more resilient. To build resilience, you need to commit to consistent, small actions, even when the results aren't immediately apparent. The key isn't perfection, it's consistency. Choose one small, actionable goal and commit to doing it daily, no matter how small the progress seems. It could be a workout, a writing habit, a meditation practice, or a professional goal. The trick is to show up every day. The progress may not be dramatic at first, but over time, the consistent effort will compound, and you'll find yourself building an unshakable resilience that will carry you through the inevitable challenges life throws at you. Resilience is built through consistent, repeated actions, not through a single moment of brilliance. Whether it's physical endurance, mental toughness, or emotional strength, the key to lasting change is in showing up every day, no matter how small the progress feels. The small actions add up, and with time, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Don't focus on quick results. Focus on the process and trust that consistency will lead you to lasting resilience. Lesson number 3, purpose fuels persistence and focus. In a world filled with distractions, noise, and competing demands, staying focused on what truly matters can feel almost impossible. Michael Easter's The Comfort Crisis reminds us that purpose is the anchor that keeps us steady through life's storms. Without a clear purpose, it's easy to drift aimlessly, lose motivation, or give up when challenges arise. But when we connect deeply with our purpose, persistence becomes natural, a source of strength that helps us push through discomfort and distraction. Easter's journey across Mongolia wasn't just a physical test, it was a purposeful mission. His clear intention to explore the limits of human comfort and endurance gave him the mental clarity to endure hardships. This lesson reveals that purpose isn't just a lofty ideal, it's practical. It's what fuels focus and sustained effort. David had struggled for years with feeling scattered and overwhelmed. His work demanded constant attention, his personal life was busy, and distractions from social media, news, and endless emails pulled his attention in multiple directions. He found himself jumping from task to task, never fully completing anything. This lack of focus left him frustrated and exhausted. At the same time, David felt something else, a vague sense of dissatisfaction. He wasn't sure what his purpose was. He knew he wanted to grow, to live meaningfully, but his goals were scattered and undefined. This lack of clarity made it even harder to stay motivated. Without a clear purpose, persistence felt impossible. When David read The Comfort Crisis, he was struck by Easter's clear sense of mission. Easter's purpose gave him the resilience to face brutal cold, hunger, and exhaustion because he was focused on a bigger goal, understanding human limits and what it means to live fully. This sparked a powerful question in David. What is my purpose? What drives me beyond comfort and convenience? David decided to take time to reflect deeply on what mattered most to him. He journaled, talked with mentors, and examined what gave him energy and meaning. Slowly, a clearer sense of purpose emerged. To become someone who faces challenges head-on and uses his strengths to help others solve problems creatively. With this renewed purpose, David's focus sharpened. Tasks that once felt overwhelming now felt like steps toward a clear destination. Challenges no longer drained his motivation but fueled it. Even when discomfort arose, he could remind himself of the bigger why behind his actions. David's persistence grew. He started tackling difficult projects at work with renewed energy and commitment. He approached his fitness goals with focus, knowing they were part of a larger mission to build strength and resilience. Distractions still came, but his purpose helped him prioritize what mattered and say no to what didn't. David also noticed something surprising. His sense of fulfillment deepened. Purpose transformed his mindset from one of exhaustion and overwhelm to one of engagement and meaning. He wasn't just enduring discomfort, he was embracing it because it was a necessary part of living with focus and intention. To cultivate your own purpose, begin by asking yourself 2 questions. What energizes me? What gives my life meaning? Reflect honestly and without judgment. Then, write down your answers and look for patterns or themes. Use this reflection to create a simple purpose statement, a guiding why that anchors your decisions and daily actions. Once you have a purpose, use it as a filter for your daily tasks and choices. When faced with discomfort or distraction, ask, does this align with my purpose? If yes, push through with persistence. If no, consider letting it go. Purpose-focused persistence transforms discomfort into meaningful progress. Purpose is the fuel that drives persistence and focus. When you connect deeply with your why, discomfort becomes more manageable, distractions fade, and your motivation strengthens. Purpose gives your actions meaning and anchors you in the face of challenges. Living with purpose allows you to navigate life's hardships like a modern samurai, with strength, clarity, and resolve. Lesson number 4. Mental toughness comes from facing fear, head on. Fear is an inevitable part of life, but it often holds us back from reaching our full potential. In The Comfort Crisis, Michael Easter teaches us that mental toughness isn't the absence of fear, it's the ability to face fear head on, to acknowledge it, and to move forward in spite of it. In fact, the only way to build true mental toughness is to continually confront and overcome the fears that stop us from taking action. The more we avoid fear, the more it controls us. But when we choose to face our fears, we can build the strength and resilience needed to tackle life's most difficult challenges. David had always been someone who avoided discomfort at all costs, especially when it came to confronting his fears. Whether it was speaking up in meetings, addressing difficult issues in his personal life, or taking risks at work, he found ways to stay in the safe zone, well within his comfort zone. But the feeling of avoidance kept building up. There was a nagging sense of dissatisfaction, a sense that he was playing it safe, avoiding his true potential. One day, after reading Easter's The Comfort Crisis, he realized something important. His avoidance of fear was actually limiting his growth. He hadn't been testing his own mental toughness, and in doing so, he was losing out on opportunities for real growth. The most significant moment came when David had to prepare for a big presentation at work. He knew this was his chance to shine, but the fear of public speaking overwhelmed him. The thought of being judged, making a mistake, or not being good enough left him paralyzed. But then he remembered Easter's message. You don't build mental toughness by avoiding fear. You build it by confronting it head-on. Easter had faced literal life-threatening situations on his journey through Mongolia, where his fears were real and immediate. But through every challenge, he grew mentally stronger, not because he didn't fear, but because he faced his fear with resolve. David knew that he needed to change his relationship with fear. Instead of avoiding it, he had to acknowledge it and then do the thing he feared. That was the key to building mental toughness, not letting fear dictate his actions. He decided to take the plunge. He practiced his presentation every day, visualizing himself succeeding and pushing through his nerves. As the day of the presentation came closer, his anxiety didn't completely disappear, but he didn't let it control him. He acknowledged it, but chose to act in spite of it. When the moment finally arrived, David stood before his colleagues, trembling but also focused. He felt the fear, but didn't allow it to stop him. He completed his presentation successfully, and the sense of accomplishment that followed was profound. He hadn't just succeeded in the task, he had conquered a fear that had held him back for years. David's mindset shifted significantly after that experience. He realized that every time he faced a fear, no matter how small, he was becoming mentally tougher. Each act of courage, no matter how imperfect, was a step toward building the mental resilience he needed to face the bigger challenges life would throw at him. To develop your own mental toughness, start by identifying a fear that is holding you back. It could be a fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of uncertainty. Then take deliberate action to face that fear. The key is not to wait for the fear to subside, but to move forward despite it. Start small. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting or finally taking that risk you've been avoiding. Each time you take action in the face of fear, you'll begin to see a shift. The fear won't disappear, but you'll learn how to move with it, not around it. The more you confront fear, the more you build mental toughness. Over time, you'll develop the courage to take on bigger challenges, knowing that fear is just a part of the process, not a barrier to success. Mental toughness isn't about being fearless. It's about learning to move forward in the face of fear. By confronting your fears head-on, you build resilience and strength. The more you face fear, the more you'll build the courage to take on bigger challenges, and each challenge will make you stronger. Remember, the only way out is through. Embrace your fear, take action, and watch yourself grow into a mentally tougher version of yourself. Lesson number 5. Embrace discomfort for growth and transformation. We often try to avoid discomfort. It's human nature to seek out the comfortable, the familiar, and the easy. But the paradox of growth is this: true transformation doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when we step into discomfort, stretch our limits, and expose ourselves to the challenges that scare us. Only by pushing through discomfort can we unlock our true potential. In The Comfort Crisis, Michael Easter emphasizes that our modern world has made us soft. We've become accustomed to convenience, instant gratification, and ease. But this comfort comes at a cost. Without discomfort, we stagnate. Growth requires discomfort, the kind that forces us to adapt, learn, and evolve. David, like many others, had lived a life of comfort for most of his adult years. His job was stable, his routine predictable, and his social life enjoyable but relaxed. He prided himself on his efficiency and ability to manage his work and home life without stress or challenge. But as comfortable as his life was, it began to feel hollow. He wasn't growing, and he started feeling like he was on autopilot, going through the motions without feeling truly alive. It was during a conversation with a close friend that David realized something critical. He wasn't challenging himself anymore. He'd become too comfortable, and in doing so had stopped pushing his limits. His friend mentioned the comfort crisis and how Easter had ventured into extreme conditions to test his physical and mental boundaries. The idea was simple yet profound. To grow, you must put yourself in uncomfortable situations. At first, David resisted the idea. The thought of stepping out of his comfortable bubble seemed overwhelming. The idea of running a marathon or traveling somewhere without any plans felt like madness. But then, he started to think about it differently. He asked himself, what's the cost of staying comfortable? What's the cost of avoiding discomfort? David realized that if he didn't start embracing discomfort, he would continue to feel stagnant. He knew that he had to break free from his self-imposed limitations. David decided to take action and commit to embracing discomfort in small ways. He started by setting a goal to run a half marathon, something that had always seemed out of reach for him. Every run was a struggle. His body ached, his mind screamed to stop, and the discomfort seemed never-ending. At first, it was easy to give up. The discomfort of running long distances was painful, and he often found himself questioning why he was doing this to himself. But as Easter's message echoed in his mind, David realized that this discomfort was exactly the point. He wasn't supposed to feel comfortable. He was supposed to grow, to test his limits, and to prove to himself that he was capable of more. With each run, he grew stronger. The pain became more manageable, the progress more noticeable. By the time race day arrived, David felt a sense of accomplishment he had never felt before. Crossing the finish line, he didn't just feel physically stronger, he felt mentally stronger too. He had overcome his inner resistance, and in doing so, had transformed himself. But David didn't stop there. He realized that discomfort wasn't something to avoid, but something to seek out. Whether it was tackling a difficult project at work, having a tough conversation with a friend, or facing uncertainty in life, David now saw discomfort as a signal that growth was possible. To begin embracing discomfort in your own life, start by identifying one area where you're avoiding challenge. It could be physical, like exercise or health habits, or mental, like facing a fear or taking on a new challenge at work. Once you've identified this discomfort zone, make a plan to step into it. For example, commit to a physical challenge, like running a certain distance, lifting weights, or learning a new sport. Or commit to a personal challenge, confronting a difficult conversation, setting a bold career goal, or learning a new skill. The key is to approach discomfort as a tool for growth, not something to run away from. The more you lean into discomfort, the more you'll grow. Over time, these challenges will no longer seem so intimidating, and you'll begin to experience true transformation. Growth happens when we step into discomfort. Whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, discomfort is the signal that we are on the path to transformation. Don't avoid discomfort. Embrace it. It's through discomfort that we discover our true potential and unlock the strength and resilience needed to navigate life's challenges. True change doesn't come from comfort. It comes from pushing through discomfort and testing our limits. David's transformation over the course of his journey wasn't about achieving perfection or avoiding failure. It was about showing up consistently, stepping into discomfort, and facing his fears with a new sense of purpose. Each lesson from the comfort crisis built on the last, until David had reshaped his mindset from one of hesitation and uncertainty to one of courage and resilience. By embracing discomfort, he grew stronger. By finding his purpose, he discovered an unshakable foundation for motivation. By confronting his fears head-on, he transformed his internal landscape, and his external world began to shift along with it. Every challenge, no matter how daunting, became a stepping stone toward greater strength. And while there were still setbacks, the difference was in how David handled them. Instead of retreating into comfort, he met them with persistence, grit, and a deeper sense of meaning. David is no longer a man stuck in the cycle of comfort. He is now someone who actively seeks challenge, who has embraced the idea that growth only happens outside the comfort zone. His career is flourishing because he no longer hesitates to take on difficult projects. His physical health has improved because he's committed to pushing his limits, and doing so with consistency, not perfection. More than anything, David feels more alive. He wakes up each day with a clear purpose, knowing that each challenge, no matter how uncomfortable, is an opportunity for growth. The truth is, transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, and it requires a mindset shift. You won't suddenly wake up to a perfect life, but you will wake up to a life filled with intention, purpose, and resilience if you're willing to embrace discomfort, face your fears, and show up consistently, even when the path feels uncertain. The comfort crisis offers us not just lessons on physical endurance or mental toughness, it teaches us how to live with more strength and purpose. In a world that's often too focused on ease and instant gratification, this book challenges us to step outside our comfort zones and actively design a life that is truly meaningful. David's story is your story too. Whatever it is that's holding you back, fear, discomfort, or self-doubt, you have the power to change it. The transformation you seek is within reach, and it begins with one small step. The decision to face discomfort, to push through fear, and to live with purpose. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start. You have everything it takes to build the life you want. The time to begin is now. If David's journey resonates with you, if you're ready to face your own challenges and step into discomfort, then it's time to take the first step. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back any longer. The lessons from the comfort crisis can transform your life just as they did for David. Embrace discomfort, find your purpose, confront your fears, and show up every single day with the belief that you are capable of far more than you think. If you found value in today's video, don't forget to subscribe to Book Play, where we turn powerful books into powerful life changes. Each week we dive into transformative lessons that can help you unlock your potential, grow, and thrive. Take a moment to reflect on what's holding you back, and let's take that next step together. Thank you for watching, and remember, the time to begin is now.